Hi, I have a question for you. Look, why is it that when there's no one watching you and you're all alone and you're surrounded by, well, your surroundings are absolutely perfect, you can't rest? You still can't find the place, the peace of mind to rest. Well, it's because, get this, it's because your performance doesn't turn off when the curtain falls. It just turns inward. Hi, I'm Michelle O'Neill, and you are at Break Time Live, and that's exactly what we're going to talk about today. We're going to do a little mini series about patterns, and this is your first pattern that I like to talk about. So, I want to get into a story, and it's true. So, you understand exactly what I'm talking about. And I've been performing since I've been 6 years old. And well, church, at school, on stage. I remember one of the first things I did was sing one of the hymns at church. And I was scared, but I did it. And so as I grew up, I was performing, I was singing, I was performing in plays, and this is in all through high school, even in my adult life. That's what I did in the Air Force. I was a vocalist, and I've done plays. So this is who I am. This is, well, it's not who I am, but it's who I thought I was. It's how I performed my life. It's the stage was how I lived, and being whoever I needed to be at that time is how I lived my life. But the thing is, the hardest part wasn't about being seen, because you get used to that. And there's always this safe space between you and the audience, because you're on stage, and most of the time the stage is above, so you feel safe. And that wasn't the hardest part. It was what happened after you got off the stage. And that's what I'm talking about. What happens when you get off the stage? For me, it was, then I had to interact with your audience, with the people who wanted to come up and congratulate you or talk to you about things in their lives, and they invaded in your personal space. But because you had made them feel like they knew you, they were a part of you, there was not that boundary that would normally be there for people that you didn't know. And so that was the hardest part for me. But performing became actually the only way that I knew how to communicate, to belong, to feel that I valued, to feel that I was giving back, to feel like I was connecting. And that's not a good place to be. And so that's what I think that we need to really attack there, because when you are a performer, when you are the person who always shows up, the person who always serves and takes care of everything, because that's the only way that you see your value, then it becomes that you don't even know how to turn that off. And the saddest part is, sometimes you don't even know who you are without the performance. And that's why I think this is so important for us to name. Even now, as you go through life and you're talking to people, you're working with people, being with people, you don't even know how to turn off. And what that becomes is you're editing as you go. But you're constantly thinking and editing, what's the next move? What's the next play? Who am I to be in this situation? How do I turn this in this situation? So you're constantly performing, and that's who you become. And you aren't just tired from doing too much, which you do, you're tired from doing it all in costume. It's not being able to be who you think you are. And the reason I said think you are, because you have become so far removed, some of you, that you don't even know who you are anymore, how to show up, which person is you, which one of these personas, which one of these actors is really you, that it's hard to show up. And so you show up polished, but panicky. Who am I today? Who do I be today? You're present, but you're disconnected because the whole time you're thinking about your next line, your next move, your next edit in your life. And this isn't about ambition that's driving your over functioning. It's not about that at all. It's fear. It's the fear that if you stop, you're absolutely disappear. This isn't about doing less. It's about doing from a different place, a place that's real, a place where the lights are down, a place where the music has stopped, and a place where you can stand there in the middle of the stage with the spotlight shining down on you and still be you. But you've performed so much all your life. And so here's a practice, because I always say, I don't want to be here forever. I'm just here to interrupt. I'm just here to help you name. And so here's a practice that I would like you to try this week as the performer. And I'd love you to tell me, am I speaking to you? Do you know who this person is? Because it was a hard shift for me. Remember, I said I did it since the age of 6. And it was all the applause, all the love that you get, all the attention, all the accolades, that you kind of get addicted to that. And that's where you place your worth, in getting those accolades, in knowing that somehow, some way in your performance, you are helping or you touch someone. But then when the lights go off, how do you be you? How do you find you when you've performed so much during your life? So, what I'd like you to do this week, not for the whole week, just for the next room that you walk into, the next stage that you step onto. What I'm asking you to do is, before you speak, before you lead, before you even help, I want you to ask yourself, am I needed or am I performing? Then I would like you to take one breath, just one. And that breath is your interruption. It gives you that space to think, to question, to make a decision. Are you needed or are you performing? And if you decide that what you're doing is performing, ask yourself, why? Why do I feel the need to perform. This isn't just about pattern. It's about the cost that you keep paying for it. We all have patterns, but it's the cost that we pay for it on the other side. And look, if this hit a nerve, good. And if you're still not sure and wondering what pattern you may be living in, I invite you to take my pattern quiz. And I'll drop the link in the comments. I have 4 archetypes that you may fall under, and just to figure out what your most dominant pattern is, so you can figure out what it's costing you. And if you want me to help you interrupt that pattern privately, gently, and in just 5 days, go ahead and DM me the word reset, because I'm inviting only a few privately, one-on-one, to help you interrupt that pattern. Until next time, you are on the Unlearning Break Time Live, where we unlearn those patterns and we break them wide open. Take care. I'm Michelle O'Neill. Bye-bye.